Welcome back in. Ryan Chapman, John Hoover, Carson Field, the whole squad with you here for Oklahoma Sooners on SI as we continue some of our roundtables trying to find who we're going to be the dudes you need to know as Oklahoma kicks off here in a little over a week, Oklahoma and Illinois State. Today we're looking for that breakout player of the year. You know the established names. You know some of those transfers that are going to come in to be established names, your John Mateers, your Jaden Knotts, all that fun stuff. But I want to know who you think is the guy that when we look back at the end of week 14 and we start to head toward conference championship and playoff time, who are we going to go, man, that guy really stepped up in a huge way. And John, I'm going to start with you. Who is your candidate for Oklahoma's breakout player of the 2025 season?
Yeah, again, a lot of candidates here because there's so many newcomers. There's so many guys that we don't expect. There's so many guys that are coming up, redshirt freshman season, or maybe they didn't play much as redshirt freshmen. They're third-year sophomores now. Somebody's going to step into the lineup. Somebody's going to break out. Somebody's going to become somewhat of a household name. From everything we've seen, everything with our own eyes, everything we've been hearing from coaches and players, and everything we've been reading, I'm going to say Isaiah Satania seems to be emerging as John Mateer's favorite target. Now, Carson had him as his X factor on the offense. I'm saying he's going to be the breakout star because in practices and scrimmages, Mateer has gone to him more than anybody else. So you might wonder, why isn't that Deion Burks? Deion Burks has been here longer. Well, Mateer has played exactly the same number of game snaps with Burks as he has with Satania, 0. So while Burks has been hindered with that injury, back in the spring, he was held out a little bit, and I think he's missed time this August with more maladies, shall we say. Satania did have a hamstring in the spring, but he's also been able to stay on the field for most of this August. So remember, this is a guy, I know, 5'11", 5'10", 182 pounds, but this is a guy who has played in 28 games as a wide receiver in the SEC, okay? Deion Burks has played in 2 of those, plus 2 bowl games that they had against SEC teams when he was with Purdue. So Satania was third, I think, at Arkansas last year, 37 catches, almost 500 yards. My prediction is he's going to put up much bigger numbers this year. He's going to be the breakout man. And if he doesn't, he's going to be the man on punt returns and kickoff returns, so he'll have a chance to shine there as well.
I like it. That wide receiver room. A lot of candidates ripe to be picked here as a group that a year ago, injuries, we get it, youth, but it was touch and go at best for Emmett Jones and his crew. Carson, who are you looking at here for your candidate for Oklahoma's breakout player of the year?
Yeah, first of all, I agree totally with Hoove's pick. Obviously he was my offensive X factor, so I think big things for Satania this year. I am also going to go receiver, but I'm going to go with someone who might not have as big of a role as Isaiah Satania, but I still think could have a very big role in this offense, and that's Zion Kearney. Kearney did not play a ton during the regular season, was a true freshman last year, but with so many guys already in the portal, Deion Burks being out, he really got a chance to shine in the bowl game against Navy, and he looked good. He caught a long touchdown pass. I think he finished the game with 66 yards. Looked very reliable. Other players in that game, I believe Zion Raggins dropped a couple passes. Carry-on might have dropped a couple. Kearney looked like the most consistent receiver in that game, which admittedly isn't saying a whole lot, but with his size, what he can do catching the ball, I think he's someone that could be a sneaky target this year, even if he's not as big of a name as a transfer like Satania, Deion Burks. I think he has his role on this team, and when some of those guys need a breather, I think he's going to make some really big plays.
Yeah, for Kearney, he was going to be the story of the game up until everyone threw it away there in the second half. I like that. A guy that Ben Arbuckle praised coming into fall camp as well as someone who's really transformed himself. So interesting to see if he can make that jump here in year 2 with the Sooners. I went to the defensive side of the ball, gentlemen, and a guy that was all the rage last offseason, going to the Wayback Machine, post-spring portal, it comes down to it, Oklahoma, Texas, LSU, a war for defensive tackle Dominic Williams, and he was good last year for Oklahoma. Set a career high with 35 total tackles. He ended up having 4.5 tackles for loss and a forced fumble, but there was one area of his game that he did not have as much production as he was like to, and that's in the sack department. Only a sack a year ago. Coming into this season, back in the spring again and again before fall camp, he said, hey, maybe the actual number on sacks doesn't matter as much as Can the quarterback feel me every single play? But you know that Dominic Williams wants to haul down and rake up those sack numbers. And so for me, he was maybe if you're just rolling up on Saturdays, I think everyone was really excited about Jaden Jackson. But I think Dominic Williams and Dejon Terry maybe flew under the radar a bit last year of all the work they did in the run game, not moving those guys. Well, the next level for Oklahoma's interior, that defensive line, is can you continue to be a couple of boulders that are immovable in the run game while also helping R. Mason Thomas out, helping those defensive ends out? And I think that Dominic Williams, another year with Todd Bates, going to get to the quarterback a little bit more, which will give him a platform to be one of those breakout stars along the interior. He said no thanks to the NFL for exactly this reason. Let's see, is he going to cash in and make himself a lot more money next spring because he decided to stay at Oklahoma this past spring and through the off season? Boys, we are getting closer and closer. Tomorrow, it's an infamous day here on the website. We'll be logging some bold predictions as we look closer and closer, get closer and closer to opening Monday here of the season. Be sure you're following us for all of that. If you missed anything else in this series as we predict things here on our roundtable, you can catch it all Oklahoma Sooners on SI.com. That is the website. Read through all of that. If you like the videos, John Hoover Media on YouTube, it's there. You can also find them on the website as well. And be sure you follow us for all of your Oklahoma coverage all throughout the year. We're on X at Sooners on SI. We're on Facebook. Just look for Oklahoma Sooners on SI. Like that Facebook page. All of our content will come to your feeds. And as always, be sure you're following John and Carson as well as myself for all of the great content as we get closer and closer day by day to kickoff and football returning to the great state of Oklahoma. Like we said, we'll be back tomorrow for those bold predictions. Come back, tune in, and enjoy.